Yo, what up guys? And girls, you know, if I even have a girl viewer, I don't even have guy viewers, I don't even have videos. Don't know why I said that, but today we're going to be reviewing a pair of pants. The Kiko Kostadinov Frederick cord trousers. These bad boys right here, obviously by Kiko Kostadinov. Even since my last video over a year ago, there's been a lot of old and new hype still surrounding his name. I mean, even Pingy, the god, came back again to preach about our Lord and Savior, Kiko Kostadinov. Anyway, moving on to the trousers. Again, these are the Frederick cord trousers from his latest Fall/Winter 21 collection. This one is in the Black Sea Trunk Brown colorway. It's got a 100% cotton exterior with a 75% cotton, 25% viscose interior. Now, unlike a lot of Kiko items, I do believe that the materials varied slightly from colorway to colorway. The pants came in 4 colorways. It came in this brown one, it also came in a blue one, a red one, and a brown one. I would say in isolation, the blue one is probably my favorite just because of the pattern on it. It's also 100% silk, so it just looks like it flows like very nicely when I've seen people wearing it and walking in it. The problem with that one is that the retail was so much higher, probably because it was 100% silk and also because it did have that pattern running throughout, so overall a higher production cost. If I'm being 100% honest, at that high of a price point, it's just not wearable enough for me to justify that cost. Like again, in terms of looking at it as like a piece of clothing, I think that the material and the pattern and everything about those trousers are so nice, but obviously, could I see myself wearing it as much as like a pair of black pants? Obviously not. I mean, black is just too ubiquitous in pretty much every single person's wardrobe, so I just don't think I could have worn the blue one as much, which is why I didn't get it.
Well, maybe I could wear the blue one a lot. I don't know. I would have to try it on with the tops that I have in my wardrobe. I mean, whatever. The retail is way too high anyway, so realistically, I probably wouldn't get it. Also, just in general, silk. I'm like super nervous to wear silk. I don't know if anyone else feels that way. I always feel like it's gonna snag on something and just neck because it's so delicate.
In terms of the colorways, the black one is the most common that I've seen across like almost every single retailer has the black one, and then the red one I've only seen at a couple. The blue one I've seen only pretty much at DSM and the Broken Arm, and then the brown one I haven't even seen for sale anywhere, so I don't know if he's releasing that later as a web shop exclusive or what.
На Костадинов, къде се продават кафявите панталони?
But overall, if I had to rank them, I'd probably rank them something like this or like this. Moving on to some closer details, the pants have a really thick waistband with 2 intertwining drawstrings here going through a series of silver petal-shaped eyelets, which come to the front here that you can kind of cinch like this to make it tighter or looser. I'm not sure what these are called, by the way, like drawstring clamps maybe? The waistband goes all the way around, and then it also goes down to kind of the pocket here. It's kind of like a contrasting brown color, and it's got a geometric pattern on it. There are 2 pockets on the front and then 2 pockets on the back. The pockets on the back are actually kind of low because the waistband is pretty thick, and then it's also a drop crotch, so in terms of like the location, what I mean, you can kind of see this is how high the front one is, and then the back one starts like all the way down here. Personally, I hate drop crotch, so what I do is I kind of just pull it up all the way to like my belly button, and then I just cinch the waist as hard as I can to kind of remove that drop crotch effect. It's also got this like hammer loop on the left side that's connected to that waistband material. I don't know how pragmatic it is, but I guess I do like it as just like a design detail. The main body of the pants is made in this kind of soft cotton material. It's a bit darker, more like a black, compared to the brown rigid material of the waistband. The pants have this very subtle texture where it looks like it's almost been kind of like intentionally wrinkled or ribbed. It's a nice design detail. You can't really see it from far away, but when you get up close you can really tell, or see it like in real life or in the right lighting. One thing I didn't expect is how thick these pants were. They're not like super thick, but when I saw them online I thought they would be super thin, but I actually think they're double layered, so they have a pretty decent amount of weight to them. As you go down to the bottom half of the pants, you get to probably what everyone considers is the main detail of these pants. kind of this lace complex on the bottom half of the leg. It's got these 4 strips of fabric which are the same color and material as the waistband, and then also these petal-shaped eyelets. It's got a different number of petal-shaped eyelets on each side. So for example, it's got 1 on the sides, 2 on the back here, and then it's got actually 3 on the front here. Obviously though, if it just had those panels, it wouldn't be that cool, but it's got these set of, again, 2 drawstrings kind of going through, interlacing all of the eyelets. And then it goes to the back here where you kind of tie it closed. I do believe that the drawstrings are fully removable, but I would never do that just because there's no way that I would ever be able to lace it back up if I did remove it. The entire lace complex is customizable. You know, you can kind of tighten certain loops, loosen them, tighten the whole thing or loosen it. But ultimately, I think no matter what you do, you're gonna get kind of the same effect, which is this entire lace complex kind of tightens the area around the calf and then creates like a flared effect for the fabric underneath, which I really think it looks cool. The pants also end with an extremely wide leg opening, and the hem is curved so that the sides are kind of longer, and then the center, front, and back are a little bit shorter, allowing it to sit very nicely over shoes. It's kind of super noticeable from the front where you kind of lay the trousers down and then you see it droop over the shoe. I think it looks really nice. The pants have a relatively normal inseam, and then combining that with its drop crotch and then relatively thick waistband, the pants are pretty long, speaking in terms of overall length. If I don't pull these up to my belly button, which is what I normally do anyway to kind of remove that drop crotch effect, the bottom of the pants are definitely going to ride on the ground. Maybe you'll have some luck if you're a bit taller than I am. If I were to categorize this, I think ultimately I just call it like a pretty detailed sweat pant that you can kind of dress up or down. These pants actually remind me almost as like a combination of 2 pants that I already own. The Rick Owens Dark Shadow Easy Pushers, and then the Homme Plissé Issey Miyake trousers. I think it's because both of these pants also feel like sweatpants, and then with the Rick Owens pants, you can kind of see these silver details through the buttons, which, you know, kind of mimic like the silver details on the Frederick cord trousers. And then with the material on these, you can kind of see that ribbing, that famous pleat that everyone wants with these trousers. It's not like quite the same, but again, these ones are also kind of textured through that like slight crinkling or wrinkling or whatever. So you might be wondering why I would get these pants if I have 2 pants that are very similar to it, and I think that's a totally valid question. I think my reasoning behind that was kind of like, I've owned these 2 pants for so long, like literally years, and I still wear them regularly and love them to this day. So I was like, at the very least, if I get these, I know that I'll get a ton of wear out of them. I guess we'll see if that logic ends up playing out. In terms of sizing, I went with the EU 46, which equates to a US 30. The waist is pretty big, but because of the drawstrings, you might be able to fit into, you know, different sizes, but ultimately I'll probably just recommend going true to size or sizing down. Unfortunately, these weren't posted on Kiko's web store, so I can't get a size chart. Maybe they'll be posted later for a later drop. Also, just in general, I kind of want to address me wanting to be more impartial in my reviews. So obviously there's going to be some sort of inherent positive bias, because if I'm buying these in the first place, it means that I like them and that I want to wear them. So I feel like the review is going to generally be pretty positive, at least for me. But I do want to start including some more negative things that I feel, just like some general cons that you might want to know if you don't like these pants as much as I do. Anyway, on that note, I am going to include some downsides. So the first one would be the ridiculously high retail. Obviously, I do know what you're paying for, but I still can't help but feel that it is pretty high, like very, very, very high. The second one would be the sizing. I just feel like Kiko pants fit big, like all the time. Which sucks because the smaller sizes are a lot harder to find than kind of the bigger ones. Usually, as soon as any Kiko item is posted, especially pants, the smaller ones are gonna sell out like literally instantly, so you have no chance. In terms of some more actual, like legitimate things that I dislike, the first one would be, you know, the waistband I was talking about, kind of that rigid material? Well, it doesn't have any actual elastic components in the waistband itself. So all the tightening and closing that you do is going to be with these drawstrings here that you cinch. There's no like button, there's no zipper, there's literally nothing that you can do to open and close the trousers. So like this is the total like give, I guess, of the trouser. You don't open it and then like fit it around your waist. You pull them up over your hips and then onto your waist and then cinch it again. It doesn't sound like a lot of work, but I swear it is. Well, it's not like a lot of work, but it's just kind of annoying to take these pants on and off. Another downside that results from that is, well, I think this is because of how tightly I kind of, like I mentioned, I pull them all the way to my waist, sorry, my belly button, and then I like cinch them as tight as possible because I don't want that drop crotch effect. Basically, these do loosen a little bit over time as you're kind of walking or moving around, especially with bigger movements. So when I kind of cinch them on my waist as tight as I can, and then I, walk for a little bit, I do notice them kind of loosen. Again, this is like your only means of closure. So it doesn't stay perfectly fitted on your waist. It kind of loosens over time, which is kind of annoying, and I have to like readjust it every once in a while. Kind of like a random thing I noticed, but when you're putting the pants on, a lot of the times your foot can kind of want to go into one of these holes. I don't even know how because you're on the inside, but I guess the way I can kind of describe it is like if you're putting on ripped jeans, sometimes your foot wants to go through the hole and then it kind of messes up this cord complex here, which can be kind of annoying. That's just like a minor inconvenience, but it's just something that I wanted to mention. Another thing that I want to mention is I feel like these pants don't go with a lot of shoes, or I guess I should say they don't go with a lot of my shoes. The leg opening is super wide, like I mentioned, so because of that, it kind of just like straight up engulfs most of the shoes that I have. This could be because I have really small feet, or maybe because of the shoes that I own. So maybe it's like a personal thing. If you own the right shoes, like maybe chunkier shoes or platform or like those kind of big chunky shoes, it would look really good with it. But for me, it kind of just engulfs a lot of the shoes that I own. I only have like 2 pairs of shoes that I really like wearing with these pants. The rest, it kind of looks weird. Like, I don't know, I think it's because I have small feet, but it just like engulfs my entire shoe. Like, kind of looks weird sometimes. So I kind of only wear these with the 2 shoes, like I mentioned. So that could also be a downside, but maybe that's more of a personal thing. If you have the right shoes or like chunkier shoes in your wardrobe, then it would work out just fine. Oh yeah, speaking of shoes, I also got these shoes, which are one of the 2 shoes that I said like look good with these pants in my opinion. These are the Kiko Kostadinov and Asics Gel Quantum Levitracks. I'm not going to do like a whole video on these just because there are already some reviews of these on YouTube. I guess I can just talk about them really quick. Basically, I just saw these shoes leak a pretty long time ago and I wanted them ever since. I tried to get them for a while, but they always sold out in this black colorway. Like the other colorways were pretty easy to get, but these ones always sold out, and they're even reselling, which is crazy because I feel like the retail on these are already so high. They were like $200 to $300. I even saw some retailers selling them for more than $300, and the black colorway always sells out, and it's actually even reselling for more, which is absolutely crazy. In terms of sizing, I got a size 9, not because I wanted to, but because it was the only size left. I'm normally like an 8.5, so I would say, I don't know, I definitely had to put, like I took out the original insoles and then I just put in my own. These are the original ones it comes with, but it was a little too big, so I would just say go true to size. Obviously I wish I could have an 8.5, but they were super hard to get, and I'm lucky to even get one in any size for retail. In terms of how the shoes feel, I would say it feels kind of like a Vapor Max. If you guys have ever worn Vapor Max, when you kind of step on the back, you feel the air, or I guess in this case gel, kind of compress underneath your heel when you're like walking. I don't really like that feeling, so for me that's kind of a con, but if you like the way Vapor Maxes feel, maybe that's a plus for you. It's also just in general very squishy. I kind of don't like that as well. I prefer a bit like harder, less cushioned shoes. That's why I prefer, for comfort, things like a New Balance over like a Boost shoe, for example. Anyway, yeah, despite everything I said, I love this shoe and I was lucky enough to even get it for retail. Anyway, back to the trousers. I'm gonna go ahead and show these on body now. It's kind of an improvement from my last video. I'll try to do more than one outfit this time. We'll see if I actually end up doing more than one, but actually, you know what? No, I will do 2. I'll do 2 outfits. So I'll do 2 outfits with these, with the 2 shoes that I talked about that I think look good with these in my wardrobe, and then also some different body movements to kind of show you how the pants flow. And yeah, let's go ahead and see these on body. Anyway, that's it for my review on these Kiko Kostadinov Frederick cord trousers. Anyway, that's it. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, I really am super thankful and appreciative for every single person that watches and gives me feedback. Trust me, I wouldn't say that if I didn't actually mean it, so thank you again, and yeah, that's it. Okay, bye.